The Chicago Bears are heading into a massive, make-or-break stretch, and the latest updates from Halas Hall have the entire fanbase on an absolute emotional roller coaster. From concerning absences and a lingering injury bug to massive expectations for the offense, the drama surrounding this team is reaching a fever pitch before the first whistle of OTAs even blows. If you want to know whether this franchise is truly ready to take the leap or if the wheels are already starting to fall off, you cannot afford to miss a single second of what is unfolding right now. Before we dive deep into the absolute chaos of this roster, do me a quick favor, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow diehard fans, and hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a single piece of breaking Bears news. The absolute biggest cloud hanging over this team right now centers around the defensive backfield, which should be the absolute identity of this defense. Jaylen Johnson is nowhere to be found at the voluntary offseason program, and while some people want to sweep this under the rug because it is technically Phase 2, let's real talk for a second. This is a monumental season for him, representing the final year of guaranteed money on that massive 4-year extension he signed a few years back. The organization can move on from him incredibly easily after this year if he does not deliver an elite performance. Sure, he got married earlier this month, went on a honeymoon, and has his family out in California, but when you are coming off an injury-riddled season, you want your leader in the building. Is it time to completely jump the shark and freak out? Maybe not yet. But if he is a no-show for the upcoming mandatory minicamp in mid-June, the panic button will be officially pressed. But if you think the anxiety ends with a simple absence, the situation with Kyler Gordon is going to drive your frustration levels through the roof. Word has officially broken that Gordon is already sidelined with yet another soft tissue injury. We have not even lined up for the first session of OTAs, and one of the most vital components of the secondary is already banged up. Last year, the entire defensive unit got absolutely gashed through the air because Gordon and Johnson could not stay on the field, forcing the team to trot out replacement-level corners weekly. On paper, these are two of your absolute best defensive backs, and seeing the injury bug bite this early is an absolute gut punch. We can complain about the pass rush until we are blue in the face, but without a healthy secondary, this defense is completely compromised. With everything happening in the defensive backfield, a massive question has to be asked. Who are you actually more worried about moving forward, Jaylen Johnson or Kyler Gordon? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below right now because this situation could completely define the early part of the schedule. Thankfully, it is not all doom and gloom in the secondary, as Tyreek Stevenson is reportedly looking incredibly locked in and focused. Word from the coaching staff is that Stevenson reported to the facility with a completely different mindset, focusing intensely on the small details and asking all the right questions. We saw absolute flashes of greatness from him during the second half of his rookie year, and late last season, he looked like the absolute best outside corner on the roster when given the opportunity. With Johnson away and Gordon dealing with injuries, the door is wide open for Stevenson to completely command the spotlight, lock down a permanent starting job, and put himself in a position to get paid a king's ransom by this franchise or someone else. Shifting over to the offensive side of the ball, the expectations for the wide receiver room are soaring to astronomical heights. Rome Odunze is entering a critical juncture where his confidence needs to be fully restored after a highly unusual drop-off in contested catch situations. Coming out of Washington, Odunze was a spectacular 75% playmaker on those 50-50 jump balls, and he maintained a stellar 72% rate during his rookie year. Last season, however, he plummeted to an egregious 7 out of 20 on those exact same plays. Whether he was overly focused on a lingering foot issue or just lost his swagger, that performance was an absolute outlier. If he recaptures his dominant college form, he can easily become one of the most unstoppable receivers in the National Football League. This brings us to our official question of the day, and I need every single one of you to scroll down and comment immediately. Who do you think will ultimately emerge as the true wide receiver one for this franchise? Type RO for Rome Odunze or type LB for Luther Burden. Get your votes in right now. Meanwhile, rookie weapon Xavon Thomas is already turning heads with an incredibly mature and refreshing mindset. Coming out of LSU, Thomas has dealt with an insane amount of instability, enduring 3 different head coaches in 4 years. He has faced heavy adversity, but his hunger to learn is exactly what this culture needs. Right out of the gate, he asked the coaching staff a phenomenal question: why do most rookies fail in this league, and what holds them back? That level of humility and self-awareness from a young player who possesses elite, field-tilting speed is special. He is locked in, mature, and slated to make an immediate impact on special teams as a dynamic returner. Expect Thomas to be a major factor as the season progresses. However, if this team wants to win the North, the defensive line has to completely alter its identity after finishing as arguably the worst position group on the entire roster last year. The scheme was far too complex, and the players were caught watching the play happen rather than dictating the terms. The analytics painted a truly hideous picture, revealing that the team ranked dead last in the NFL in get-off time when the ball was snapped. Players like Gervon Dexter have consistently struggled to fire off the line of scrimmage, a habit that carried over from college. The plan now is to completely simplify the fundamentals, stop overthinking the scheme, and play in pure attack mode. We do not have a generational, game-wrecking superstar like Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, or T.J. Watt on this line. While Austin Booker is rising, and guys like Grady Jarrett and Montez Sweat are reliable, this unit has to win collectively by mastering the basics. Ultimately, everything rises and falls with the quarterback position, and the growth surrounding Caleb Williams is giving this fanbase every reason to believe a historic season is on the horizon. The coaching staff has openly praised his immense growth in handling hard criticism and taking true ownership of the playbook. Toward the end of last season, you could visibly see the games slowing down for him, allowing him to orchestrate pre-snap motions and adjustments at the line of scrimmage with supreme comfort. Entering the next phase of development, the continuity of this offense is an absolute luxury. Having an offensive-minded coaching staff calling the plays for a generational quarterback talent is the gold standard in modern football. Last year, the complex system brought massive growing pains, leading to an absolute parade of false starts, delay of game penalties, and operational chaos through the first half of the season. Now, those massive structural hurdles are completely out of the way. Aside from building chemistry with a new center, Williams is starting this season on second base rather than inside the batter's box. If last year was the absolute floor of what this offense can look like, then we are cooking with gas. The expectations are a top 10 quarterback performance at minimum, with a very realistic path toward pushing into the top 5 and entering the MVP conversation. The stage is set, the pieces are moving, and it is time to bear down.